I'm Dr. Ryan Ross. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Chief Student Affairs and Chief Equity Officer for the Colorado Community College System and the President and CEO of the Urban Leadership Foundation of Colorado. That's important because as we talk about transforming boundaries, I spend a lot of time thinking about what does it mean to transform and what are the boundaries that we need to overcome. And as I think about that and I look into that and I dream about that and I lose sleep over that, I've come to three real things, right? In order to transform boundaries, we've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We've got to understand that equity is real. And the part of the equity conversation is accountability and acknowledgement. And the final thing is, we gotta have fun. We absolutely have to have fun. And so, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. When I was around 14, I had to think about what my life was gonna look like. Unfortunately, I had a pretty tough upbringing, and I was at this crossroads, and I knew if I went to the neighborhood school, things probably wouldn't work out the way I wanted them to, right? I might end up a statistic, so I needed to do something different, and so I got on the bus. I caught the city bus out 2 hours away to a private school, J.K. Mullen Catholic College Prep School, and I asked him, can I go to this school? And the principal laughed at me, and he said, it's a private school. We've already got our students. What are you doing here? Well, I want to go to school here. Well, it doesn't work that way. Did you fill out an application? Where are your parents? Who are you? And again, can I go here? Well, it doesn't work that way. And so I left. And so I came back for the next 14 days with a different pitch every day. Hey, I'll sweep the floor. Can I go here? Like, son, it doesn't work that way. And so on the final day, I get off the bus to do my pitch again, and I see 2 police cars sitting in the roundabout, and I'm like, oh, that's messed up. Like, all I did was ask a question. Really, you gonna call the popos on me? And every day that I got there, I had to go find him to make my pitch. This day, he was waiting. Hey, Ryan, come here. Ha ha. Not gonna get me. I know what that's all about. You're looking for me and the police are there? No, I'm good. I'm over here, and I'm gonna stay over here. Super uncomfortable, right? Actually, I wasn't. I was comfortable because in my mind, I knew that that's what was going to happen. So for me, the most comfortable place for me to be was to stay across the street on public property where maybe I couldn't be arrested. The uncomfortable thing would have been to actually go across the street. And so I see the police officers come out and they hop in a car and they drive away and he's waving me over. And I'm like, all right, they're leaving. Is this a setup? I'm like, which way can I run if this goes bad? But I decide to be uncomfortable and I go across the street. And when I went across the street, something happened. He introduced me to a guy by the name of Larry Byrne, who, to make a long story short, paid for me to go to Mullen High School, right? I became the first kid in what's called the Byrne, back then it was called the Byrne Foundation. Now it's transformed and it is joined with Denver Kids. And so that moment of being uncomfortable literally put me on a journey to change my life. And I share this story with you because there are a lot of moments where we are sitting in comfort with our policies and our procedures, with the way things have always been done, looking across the street at what may seem to be a fire, what may seem to be something that is going to cause harm to us. When in doubt, crossing that street is going to literally change your life. So how can you change your life in the things that you do, right? How can you change your life in the lives of others in the way that you do things and people show up? So maybe crossing the street is looking at the policies and procedures of your organization and asking yourself, which one of these policies stop people from thriving? Who cares about all the politics and the posturing that's happening around the conversation with diversity, equity, and inclusion? Let's just stop for a second and say, who's not thriving? And what can I do? How can I walk across the street and make a little bit of change so we can create something just a little more comfortable for our students, for our staff, for our faculty, or for our community, right? Equity is real. There's a lot of people who want to say it's not, but it's real. And we have to understand that, like a bad teenager, America has an opportunity for redemption. And when the redemption in our equity story comes in the conversation. It comes in how we have the conversation. This isn't a conversation where we're punishing people, where we're talking about doom and gloom for what our forefathers and foremothers experienced or did. No, this is a conversation of saying, hey, this didn't start by itself, and it didn't start with one group of people. So it's going to take us all together, interconnected, interlocked in order to get this work done. What's your narrative? What's your story? What is it about me that you don't know? What is it about you that I don't know? How can we share those stories and come together in a way that allows us to understand that equity is real and to understand that anytime we go into a room and make it different, it gets better. Because there's something there that only you can bring. We are all unique individuals. When you think about the science of it, they'll say you're like 1 in 40 billion or something like that. What that means is you are the only you. And so if you don't say it, it can't be said. You can only say it the way that you say it. You can only do it the way that you do it. So if you're missing from the room or you don't sit at the table, just think about what everybody misses out on. So you matter. The diversity, the equity that you bring to the table matters. And lastly, have fun. Don't take yourself so seriously. Take some time and go to a playground and watch kids play. Watch how effortlessly they love on and hang out with and become friends. That's what they do. Like the movie Step Brothers, kids always have this moment where they just became best friends. So I think we should try to do that too. Thank you guys so much.